Today is huge. That's all I can say. We've been working on these guidelines for a long time, and there have been tons of people working on them. Publishers, portals, agencies, auditors. I mean, you have ABC, BPA, IM Services, MRC. Everybody's involved in this thing. It's huge. And we're going to go over that today, but I'm going to spend a little time bringing you up to today, talking about a few quick things. First, not everybody knows who the MRC is, so I'm going to spend 1 minute on that. Talk to you about auditing, because I've been asked a lot of questions. We're doing audits of panel measurement companies and things. People want to know what the status of that is. Tracking how we got here, and then last, talking to you about some other resources and initiatives that are going on at the MRC. I don't have a lot of time to do this, so I'm going to move very, very quickly. This is the mission statement of the MRC. It reads very, very simple. It's not quite as simple as it looks, but basically we're here to secure measurements that are valid, reliable, and effective. To do that, we set standards and we conduct audits to verify that. We were set up at the request of the Congress in the mid-1960s. We're a not-for-profit entity. We do self-regulation over media measurement in the US, and we administer a voluntary process for organizations to come to us and get what's called accredited. To do that, they have to be transparent. They have to conduct their operations as they tell their customers they do. They have to meet our standards, and they have to create a certain minimum level of quality, and they have to pay for thorough, ongoing audits. Our process is confidential. That's a very brief understanding of the MRC. This is really what we want to talk about. What's going on with our audits? We're right now conducting 3 audits of what I would call panel measurement or some form of panel measurement organizations. ComScore, Nielsen Online, and at the bottom, as noted, we've recently started an audit of QuantCast. I want to talk to you about the approach, the status, and a little bit about what we've learned. This is a very complex slide. 2 things to remember. There are 2 columns on this slide. The column on your right is sort of our bread and butter. We use CPAs. They go out, they bang these companies, they do auditing, they make sure the stuff works as management is said, as people are informed, and they're doing this in a very complex, stepwise process through the methodology. It takes a long time, a lot of hours, a very, very significant dollar investment. On the left side, there's a new thing that we've been doing, and it's mainly because we see a lot of innovative types of measurement and innovative things flying at us from these companies that we've never really seen before. So we have to figure out whether it works. At the end of the day, we have a very practical problem. We can all sit in a room and discuss the concepts, but we have to decide whether we should accredit something because it's valid, reliable, and effective, or we don't. So when somebody throws something at us that we've never seen before, we have to study it. We have to figure out whether it works. We have to examine it. We have to put it through its paces, test it, sensitivity, etc. That's what this left-hand column is. Various areas of the methodology. For example, Joe mentioned, can you use a random sample in these methodologies? What are the impacts of that? We're studying that. Panel maintenance, panel turnover, using recruitment partners, the coverage of the panel, fatigue, things like that. And then comparing panel results to other validated measures that we've looked at. So this is a part of an enormous plan to get these companies the foundation and the business the foundation that they need. What's the status? On our website, we have a detailed status document posted. It just went up a couple weeks ago, so it's fairly current. Both companies, and I'm now focusing on Nielsen and ComScore because QuantCast is fairly new in the process. Both companies have completed what we call pre-audit. We've got audit committees. The scope's been defined. That research plan, the left-hand column, has been defined. The companies are working through it. For example, Net Ratings or Nielsen Online. I'll be calling it that for the rest of my life. Sorry, guys. They've already studied, for example, the ability to create standard errors with large panels. They've done some of their research plan. They've both completed a meter evaluation or an audit of the meters. ComScore studied or started and has almost completed several of their panel process audits. Nielsen's completed a data collection and editing audit. So there's a lot of work that's been completed, and our audit committee is getting these reports.